The Zhu Group was not originally eligible to attend the Top Business Summit. It was my father-in-law, Zhu Huaiyan, who begged me to do so, and I reluctantly made an exception by saying hello to the person in charge. But yesterday, my wife Xu Yuan warned me, don't follow me to the summit secretly tomorrow. I feel embarrassed. You can't go to that kind of occasion, understand? I nodded and said nothing more. But coincidentally, Qin Fengyan, the president of Qin Group, a leading enterprise in Jinhai City, is also my friend and insisted on talking to me about cooperation. After talking about business, he said that he would go to the summit to see the excitement, and I couldn't refuse. As soon as I entered the venue, I saw the so-called business icons in suits and leather shoes, holding wing glasses and greeting each other with polite words. Although Qin Fengyan and I have a high status in the industry, we are low-key and almost no one has seen our true faces, so we found a place to sit down. No one came to talk to us for a long time, so it was quiet. We drank champagne and talked about the follow-up of the cooperation with a smile. At this time, Zhu Yuan walked into the venue. She was wearing a high-end dress, which made her figure look particularly graceful. She was holding the arm of her male assistant Feng Zhang with a smile on her face. The two were very close, and Feng Zhang would occasionally put his arm around her waist, as intimate as a couple. I was immediately furious, but before I could ask her, Zhu Yuan walked up to me with a look of disgust and anger on her face. Xu Han, who asked you to come? Didn't I tell you to stay at home? Look at the cheap clothes you are wearing. Do you know how embarrassing you are to me? Before I could say anything, Feng Zhang jumped out like a dog to help Xu Han. You are just a live-in son-in-law, a useless gigolo. You know what kind of occasion this is? Are you worthy of sitting here? Feng Zhang said, looking me up and down with contempt, as if I were a dirty. Qin Fengyan couldn't stand it anymore, frowned and said, Sir, please speak respectfully. Xu Han is my friend. Feng Zhang got even more excited when he heard it and pointed the finger at Qin Fengyan directly. What's wrong with being your friend? Who do you think you are? You are dressed like a bumpkin, and you dare to act like a big shot here. Let me tell you, this is Jinhai City's top business summit. It's not a place for people like you to come. Get out now and don't be an eyesore here. Qin Fengyan is usually low-key, but he is not someone who will be bullied. His face sank and he was about to speak, but I reached out to stop him. I looked at Feng Zhang and said coldly, Who do you think you are? You are just a slave who carries shoes. You have no right to interrupt me. I sneered and looked at Xu Yuan. I haven't asked you why you are so happy recently. Are you in love? Xu Yuan was choked by me. She was stunned for a long time and stamped her feet in anger. Xu Han, I didn't expect you to be so narrow-minded. I have explained it many times. Feng Zhang is my assistant. We have a normal relationship between superiors and subordinates. If you don't believe me, it's fine. Do you have to make a scene on this occasion? Did you see, is it not for my good? There was no fluctuation on my face. I just looked at the two of them calmly and took a sip of champagne, a normal relationship between superiors and subordinates. If you hadn't indulged him, would he dare to talk to me like this? Xu Han, don't be so shameless. Feng Zhang pointed at me uncursed. I tell you, whether there is President Xu or not, I look down on you as a gigolo. You are a waste, my eyebrows. You pretend to be a loyal dog. Isn't it also for the purpose of being a gigolo? You? Feng Zhang was choked by me and couldn't speak. Xu Yuan glared at me. Xu Han, after all, you just don't trust me, right? I brought up the Zhu Group, and even many of the core employees are my people. I have also heard too many rumors about the close relationship between Xu Yuan and Feng Zhang, and she still has the nerve to question me for not trusting her. It doesn't matter whether you trust me or not. These are just minor details. It's a problem between us. The most important thing now is Feng Zhang. Apologize to my friend. Feng Zhang seemed to have heard a big joke and couldn't help laughing. Apologize to this idiot, Xu Yuan. Are you crazy? I am the special assistant to the president of Zhu Group. I apologize to your beggar friend. Is he worthy? Before he finished speaking, I interrupted him and kicked Feng Zhang in the stomach. He flew several meters away and fell heavily to the ground. The whole venue suddenly became noisy. People around were shocked by this sudden change and looked over here. I rushed forward and stepped on Feng Zhang's back in an instant. I grabbed his arm. With a crack, Feng Zhang's screams resounded throughout the venue. His left hand was broken. Su Han, are you fucking crazy? Is it that serious? Feng Zhang was sweating and screaming in pain. I coldly grabbed his right hand. I'll say it one last time, apologize. Otherwise, this hand will be useless. Yes. I'm sorry, President Su. Feng Zhang was in pain and fear, and he actually cried. I apologize to President Qin. Yes. I'm sorry, President Qin. It doesn't matter. Qin Feng Yun shrugged and looked at me with a smile. Not bad. You are still so agile after so many years. I smiled slightly, propped myself up, patted my pants, and sat back in my seat gracefully. Not bad, I haven't exercised recently. Zhu Yuan was stunned on the spot. She stared blankly at Feng Zhang lying on the ground in a mess and didn't react for a long time. After a long while, she screamed and ran towards Feng Zhang, yelling at me, Suhan, are you sick? It's bad enough that you are suspicious all day long, but now you hit Feng Zhang just because you are jealous. And in this kind of occasion, you deliberately don't want me to have an easy life. Jealous? I took the strawberry cake handed to me by Qin Feng Yin and took a bite. Zhu Yuan, you misunderstood. You can hook up with whoever you want. I don't care and I won't be jealous. He was beaten just because he was mean and insulted my friend. Hearing this, Yuan's face turned pale and she gritted her teeth and shouted, Suhan, you are a fucking waste, a coward who lives off you. I tell you, I've had enough of you. If it weren't for my dad's face, I would have divorced you long ago. You are just a dog raised by the Zhu family, and you really think you are a big shot. The business people in the venue also understood the general idea, and they all looked at me with extreme disgust, as if I were a scum of society. Miss Shu is right. A bald fat man next to him held a wine glass and smiled greasy. This kind of person is just a toad trying to eat swan meat. He really thinks that he is a superior person by marrying you, and he really thinks that he can be on an equal footing with us. Another tall and thin man also followed suit. Miss Shu, don't be angry. It's not worth getting angry with such a person. More and more people came around to watch the fun. Miss Shu, this kind of person should be driven out so as not to dirty our eyes. That's right. Let him go. Everyone said one thing and another, echoing Zhu Yuan's sarcasm towards me. I ate the cake expressionlessly while Qin Feng Yin looked around and took note of the faces of every business elite. I knew that these people were going to suffer, and it was estimated that the family's industry would soon be ruined by the Qin group. After all, I don't like others to make Qin Fengyan suffer, and Qin Fengyan would not let others ride on my neck to demonstrate. I really don't know what made them have this illusion, but after making some money, they think they are the best. Little do they know that the real best is standing in front of them, and they can't even recognize him. I turned my head and looked at Zhu Yuan. Zhu Yuan, are you sure you want to tear your face off and ignore the life and death of Zhu Group? My voice was calm, but it carried an unquestionable majesty. The people around laughed even harder when they heard what I said. Who does he think he is? He's still concerned about the life and death of Zhu Group. It's really hilarious. Can he bring down Zhu Group by himself? Zhu Group is a giant like an elephant. If he dies like an ant, no one will see it. Miss Zhu, don't pay attention to him. The more you give face to this kind of person, the more he pretends. Feng Zhang saw that Zhu Yuan was standing on his side, and he didn't feel any pain. He beat his arm and laughed. Suhan, are you still asleep, or did you drink too much just now? You are just an ordinary employee in the group by relying on the relationship with Mr. Zhu. Do you really think that Zhu Group can't survive without you? I tell you, Mr. Zhu can fire you from Zhu Group right now. Do you believe it? Before he finished speaking, Feng Zhang suddenly screamed. His arms hung down and he rolled on the ground in pain. He was so proud just now, but now he was howling like a dead dog. I acted very quickly, and the whole process was as fast as lightning. No one around me could react. You know that being mean can kill people? How can you remember to eat but not to be beaten? I stood up and clapped my hands as if nothing had happened. Zhu Yuan, let's get a divorce. I looked at her and said calmly, wait a minute, I'll call the after sales center. Then I took out my cell phone and called Bu Zhu Yuan's parents. Zhu Yuan, I can't get along anymore, so let's get a divorce. Yes, right at the summit, you guys come over. My tone was very calm, as if I was talking about something insignificant. Zhu Yuan was dumbfounded when she heard what I said. She widened her eyes and looked unbelievable. She didn't expect that I would actually divorce her, and in this kind of occasion, in front of so many people. She looked at me with gritted teeth, as if she wanted to tear me apart, as if she was looking at an enemy. I don't know how we, who used to love each other, have come to this day. It would be a lie to say that I don't love her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used my own resources to support Zhu Group and turn Zhu Group from an unknown small studio into a famous large enterprise, and I wouldn't have let Zhu Yuan be the president of the company and be proud every day. I was afraid that she had concerns in her heart, so I didn't tell her the details of the matter, but I didn't expect that she would treat me like this now. Not long after, Zhu Yuan's parents came in a hurry. Yuan, what's going on? As soon as Zhu's mother entered the door, she saw Feng Zhang lying on the ground and Zhu Yuan with a dazed look on her face. Mom and Dad, you are finally here. Zhu Yuan saw her parents and ran over as if she saw a savior. You have to make the decision for me. Su Han beat my assistant at this summit and said he wanted to divorce me. He just wanted to embarrass me and make me lose face. Zhu's mother's face changed when she heard it, and she looked back and forth at me and Zhu Yuan as if she was trying to determine whether the matter was true or not. Zhu Huainian looked at me with apology, then glared at Zhu Yuan and shouted coldly, "You evil girl, what did you do?" Zhu Huainian is the former president of Zhu Group. He tried his best to match me with Zhu Yuan because his company was on the verge of bankruptcy. After so many years together, he also knows that although my ability and status are extremely terrifying, I have principles and will never make trouble for no reason. As for Zhu Yuan, no one knows her daughter better than her father. Dad, what do you mean? You blame me without saying anything. Zhu Yuan frowned and pointed at me. Am I your biological child, or is he your biological child? Why do you give him face? He is a freeloader. If it weren't for you, I would never have married him. Before he finished speaking, Zhu Huainian slapped Zhu Yuan in the face, and her face turned red instantly. Shut up, you know nothing. Seeing this, the other guests could no longer sit still and hurriedly came up to persuade him. Hey, President Zhu, don't be anxious. It was indeed this kid who hit someone first. Yes, he is just a son-in-law, but he is so arrogant. You really need to teach him a lesson. Although the Zhu Group was not eligible to participate in the summit, the news was very strong. Those who knew the inside story knew that the Zhu family got into the back door, so they also knew that even if the Zhu family was not strong, it must have a strong backing, so they all followed suit, Mr. Mr. Zhu is a handsome man, and he has done nothing wrong. Yes, this guy is very jealous. He just saw Mr. Zhu and his assistant walking together, and he suddenly went crazy. Bullshit! Zhu and Ian roared, instantly shocking the venue. He looked at the group of people coldly. How can I not know my own son-in-law and daughter? Anyone who dares to say something bad about my son-in-law is against me, Zhu Huainian, and the Zhu family. His voice was not loud, but full of majesty. Zhu Yuan and Feng Zhang were dumbfounded, especially Zhu Yuan. She didn't expect that her own father would turn against so many people for me. Okay, that's great, Su Han. Zhu Yuan looked at me viciously and said, word by word, even my dad was bribed by you, right? Aren't you jealous? Okay, let's get a divorce. Zhu Huainian turned his head and looked at Zhu Yuan, his eyes wishing he could. You won't get a penny, think it over. After these words came out, Zhu Yuan was completely stunned. She knelt in front of me, hugged my legs, and cried, Husband, I was wrong. I was really wrong. I did it to make you angry. There is really nothing between Feng Zhang and me. It's because you always ignore me that I thought of using him to make you jealous. She cried with tears in her eyes. So pitiful. Feng Zhang collapsed to the side, completely dumbfounded. His eyes were red with anger. Zhu Yuan. What do you mean? Didn't you say you loved me? You also said that you would marry me immediately after you divorced, but you treated me like this for such a gigolo. I sneered and kicked Zhu Yuan away. No need. Zhu Yuan will ask the lawyer to send the divorce agreement. I turned to look at King Feng Yun. Boskin, let's go. Qin Feng Yu nodded and left the venue with me. Zhu Huanian also chased after him, shouting, Boss Su, good son-in-law, don't. I stopped him with a cold look and said lightly, if a son is not taught, it is the fault of the father. Zhu Huanian, you are also responsible. After the voice fell, Zhu Huanian looked ashen and stood there in a daze and did not follow. That night, I received a notice of the Zhu Group's board of directors meeting, and Zhu Yuan still asked me to be there. I knew it was a Hongmen banquet, but I still went, just to see how big a wave this little fish wanted to make. When I loved her, she was the moon in the clouds and the star in the sky. When I didn't love her, she was just a small fish in the pond. As soon as I entered the meeting room, I saw Zhu Yuan sitting in the main seat with a cold face, while Feng Zhang was still standing aside. Although his arm was in a plaster cast, he still looked smug. It turned out that the breakup between the two at the previous summit was just a show for Zhu Huanian and me. Suhan, I'll give you one last chance, Zhu Yuan said coldly. You only have two choices now. One is to be fired, lose your job with a monthly salary of hundreds of thousands, and return to your life in the ditch. The other is that we don't divorce, but you are not allowed to interfere in my private affairs. Your position will be retained, you decide. Feng Zhang also said with a smile, Suhan, think it over before you speak. Don't be shameless. You have to know an ability you will never be able to get it in your whole life, you gigolo. I sneered, idiot, you really only remember to eat and not to be beaten. You are looking for death. Feng Zhang exploded in an instant, relying on the fact that neither of his two hands could be used. He even wanted to come up and hit me. Okay, Zhu Yuan shouted and then looked at me. Tell me, what do you choose? Divorce, I said calmly. Okay. Zhu Yuan nodded with gritted teeth, her face full of anger. Suhan, you just don't want me to have an easy life, right? Fine, don't even think about having an easy life. I'm going to fire you, and I'm going to pay back all your wages from the past few years. I sneered. Fire me? I took out a document from my pocket and threw it on the table. Zhu Yuan, take a good look at this. What is this? Zhu Yuan picked up the document and glanced at it. Her face instantly turned pale. This is impossible, she screamed. How do you have 70 of the shares of Zhu Group? Are you surprised? I walked up to Zhu Yuan and looked down at her. I forgot to tell you that I am the largest shareholder of Zhu Group. Now, as a major shareholder, I am dismissing you, Zhu Yuan, from the position of president. And you, Feng Zhang, I turned to look at Feng Zhang, get out of Zhu Group right now. Zhu Yuan's eyes were out of focus. She sat in the boss chair blankly, muttering, No, impossible. This is impossible. Suhan, you coward. This contract must be fake. Why are you pretending? Feng Zhang, don't be fooled by him. Feng Zhang shouted angrily. He is a waste. How can he have shares in our company? I glanced at them coldly. Security. At my command, several security guards rushed and unthrew these two people out. Zhu Yuan and Feng Zhang howled like two dead dogs and were dragged out of the office by the security guard. Suhan, you will die, Zhu Yuan screams echoed in the corridor. When I got home at night, as soon as I opened the door, a disgusting smell hit me. Zhu Yuan and Feng Zhang were actually in the living room, hugging each other, kissing each other. Hubby, you're back. Zhu Yuan saw me and quickly pushed Feng Zhang away, her face full of panic. Her face still had a blush, pretending to be innocent. I asked Feng Zhang to come to my house to cook for you and apologize. Feng Zhang also quickly stood up and squeezed out an ugly smile. Mr. Su, don't get me wrong, Mr. Su and I looked at the two of them and felt sick. Zhu Yuan, stop acting. I'm not stupid. I interrupted him coldly. I will send you the divorce lawyer's letter as soon as possible. From today on, I won't live here anymore. After saying that, I turned and left. Suhan, stop. Zhu Yuan rushed up in a rage and tried to stop me. What's the matter? Suhan, seeing me and Yuan together. Are you jealous? Are you angry? You loser, hit me if you have the guts. Feng Zhang suddenly spoke and blocked me with a provocative smile on his face. I looked at him and smiled. Okay, as you wish. Before I finished speaking, I had already punched Feng Zhang in the face. Ah! Feng Zhang screamed and fell to the ground, covering his face. I walked up to him and stepped on his chest. You're not a glutton, you are just a jerk. You feel uncomfortable if you don't get beaten for a day, right? Zhu Yuan screamed in fear. Su Han, you are crazy. Let him go. I ignored her and turned away. Soon, because of my Operation Zhu group was on the verge of bankruptcy. Although I hurt the enemy and lost 80,070 of Zhu's shares was nothing to me, and I didn't care. The old man Zhu, who Inian called me, his tone was full of panic. Su, Mr. Su, where are you? Can we meet? In less than half an hour, Shu Hua Inian appeared in front of me with Xu Yuan on Feng Zhang. Zhu Yuan's face was swollen like a pig's head, probably because of Zhu Huainian's beating. Feng Zhang was even worse. He couldn't walk with both legs and was carried here by someone, like a cripple. As soon as Zhu Huainian saw me, he knelt down with a plop. Basu, I beg you, please let the Zhu family go. He cried with snot and tears. The Zhu family it's almost dying now. Only you can save us. Zhu Yuan also knelt down, hugged my legs and started crying. Husband, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Please forgive me. I will never dare to do it again. Feng Zhang also begged for mercy. Basu, I am not a human being. I deserve to die. Please forgive me. Looking at these three people, I felt sick. Seeing that I didn't say anything for a long time, Zhu Yuan suddenly covered her stomach while crying. Ouch, my stomach. She pretended to scream. Zhu Huainian is also an old fox. He understood it immediately after seeing it. Yuan, are you pregnant? Zhu's mother also came over quickly with a look of surprise on her face. Oh, is this true? Yuan, you'd better be careful. Zhu Yuan wiped her ears and nodded. Well, I'm pregnant. She looked up at me with tears in her eyes. Hubby, we have a child. For the sake of the child, can you forgive me this time? Zhu's mother also chimed in. Yes, good son-in-law, the child is innocent. For the sake of the child, don't get divorced. Huai Han also hurriedly said, Suhan, for the sake of our past relationship, give the Zhu family another chance. The Zhu family can't live without you. I looked at Zhu Yuan's belly, sneered in my heart, but pretended to be embarrassed on the surface and sighed. Let's not divorce for the time being. When the Zhu family heard this, they were overjoyed. Zhu Yuan burst into tears and laughed, thanking me all the time. Thank you. Husband, thank you. I knew you still loved me. Although we didn't divorce, I basically didn't live at home. I was completely separated from Zhu Yuan. I even found an Annie to take care of her, which was considered to be the most benevolent. By chance, I met Bai Qingqing. She's beautiful and gentle. We get along well and often eat and watch movies together. For various reasons, I didn't tell her my identity, but she didn't seem to care. Once on her birthday, I gave her a very cheap trinket and she was very happy. Wow, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Suhan. I like it very much. When she smiled, her eyes sparkled like stars in the sky. At that moment, I felt like something hit my heart. It didn't take long for us to confirm our relationship. I felt very relaxed and happy with her. This is how life should be. Zhu Yuan was probably anxious because I didn't visit her for several months. She started to call me and send WeChat messages. At first, she pretended to care about me, but when she saw that I didn't reply, she started to cry. Husband, why don't you pay attention to me? Are you still angry with me? I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Can you forgive me? She also tried to recall the past with me. Husband, do you still remember? We used to be together. I interrupted her directly. Forget it. I don't care. Then I said meaningfully, Hui Wan, this is the last chance I give you. I hope you can cherish it. Husband, I know, I will. I didn't listen to her crying and hung up the phone directly. A few months later, Zhu Huainian suddenly called me. Son-in-law Yuan Yuan is about to give birth. Come to the hospital quickly. His voice was very anxious, and there was a hint of anger. I replied coldly, I'm not her husband. Why should I go? Zhu Huainian was so angry on the other end. Son-in-law, I'm not saying anything. It's okay that you didn't take care of her when she was pregnant, but how come you didn't even come to see her after she gave birth? Okay, I'll be there right away. After hanging up the phone, I slowly got dressed and took a taxi to the hospital. As soon as I entered the hospital, Xu Yuan's mother came over, frowning. Xiaosu, you can't do this. You said that what happened before was indeed Yuan's fault, but now he is going to give birth to a son for you anyway. You can't treat him like this. How heartless. I have a conscience. I pointed at myself and laughed. She is not giving birth to a child for me. Why should I have a conscience? I am glad to take a don't talk nonsense. If he doesn't give birth to a child for you, who will he give birth to? His mother scolded. Son-in-law, what you said is too harsh. Zhu Hui and Yan also looked indignant. It was indeed Yuan's fault before, but he told us that he had no substantial relationship with that assistant. Why do you keep holding on to it? I sneered and sent a video to Zhu Hui and Yan directly in front of the Zhu family. Zhu Hui and Yan, take a good look. What is this? Zhu Hui and Yan clicked on the video in confusion, and his face changed instantly after just one glance. Zhu's mother came over and was soon stunned. The content of the video was exactly the scene of Zhu Yuan on Fang Zhang in the hotel, which was extremely crazy and unspeakable. Is this what you mean by no substantial relationship? How else can it be substantial? Zhu Hui and Yan froze, unable to speak for a long time. He looked back at the phone at me, his eyes full of shock and guilt. Don't worry, scroll to the end and see, I said with a smile. Soon, the video chat between Zhu Yuan and Fang Zhang after the battle came. The two of them snuggled together. Are you sure this child is mine? Fang Zhang asked. Nonsense. Zhu Yuan smiled and said coquettishly, I haven't let that rubbish touch me for a while. If I'm not yours, then whose is it? That's good, that's good. You didn't hurt my son just now, did you? No, he's not formed yet, it's okay? I'll need it later. Zhu Yuan said in a coquettish voice. Okay, so we didn't reveal the truth, did we? Fang Zhang asked. Don't worry, he just hasn't been home much recently, but it doesn't matter. As soon as our son is born, he will definitely come back, and then our son will inherit his property. We will both be rich and powerful and have more than the Zhu group. That's good, Fang Zhang nodded. Do you want to do it again? Hate. Then there was another unbearable voice. Zhu Hui and Mian and his mother looked pale and cold. Zhu Hui and Mian's face became paler and paler, and finally he seemed to have lost all his strength. He slumped in the chair and roared for a long time, evil daughter, how could I raise such a beast? At this time, Zhu Yuan had also given birth, and the doctor walked out of the delivery room with the child in his arms. But Zhu Huanian didn't even look at the little meatball and rushed to Zhu Yuan's bed with a cold face. Zhu Yuan smiled when she saw us. Husband, isn't our child cute? Before I could say anything, Zhu Huanian pointed at Zhu Yuan, shaking with anger. You evil creature, you actually want to kill Suhan, kill my son-in-law. He turned his head to look at me, his face full of guilt and regret. Suhan, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect that Yuan would actually do such a thing. He picked up his mobile phone, dialed a number, and roared at the other end of the phone. Find that bastard Fang Zhang for me. I want to make him live a life worse than death. Then Zhu Huanian looked at Zhu Yuan, his eyes full of disappointment and determination. Zhu Yuan, from today on, you are no longer my Zhu Huanian's daughter. My Zhu family does not have a beast like you who has lost all conscience. After these words came out, Zhu Yuan's originally pale face turned ashen. She vaguely felt that she was exposed. She was tense and extremely weak. She fainted all of a sudden. Son-in-law, Mr. Su, I'm sorry. Zhu Huanian didn't even look at Zhu Yuan, but just kept apologizing to me. I glanced at Juan and coldly, I've told you, Zhu Huanian, it's the father's fault if the son is not well educated. I have given your family too many opportunities, but it's a pity that you don't cherish them at all. I left the hospital without looking back, leaving Zhu Huanian sitting there alone, tears streaming down his face. As soon as I walked out of the hospital gate, I received a call from Qin Fengyan. Suhan, are you done? Yeah. Qin Fengyan's voice sounded very relaxed. Those who jumped around at the summit before, one by one, all get out. Now the entire Jin-HAI business community is basically a major change. I know that Qin Fengyan is a man of his word. He can make those so-called business elites go bankrupt with just a flick of his finger who made them blind and mess with me. As for the Zhu family, they will suffer for their own sins. Before it collapsed completely, partners terminated contracts one after another. Banks demanded repayment, employees resigned, and the huge shoe group disappeared without a trace within a few days. Zhuhua Indian was also extremely angry and asked someone to beat Feng Zhang to a half cripple and sold him to a foreign country as an illegal worker where he spent his whole life in the dark in the mine. As for Zhu Yuan, Zhu Huaiyan cut off all ties with her, and even her child with Feng Zhang was sent to an orphanage. Zhu Yuan went completely crazy, and some people saw her wandering the streets with disheveled hair, picking up garbage everywhere to eat. The once high-ranking eldest daughter of the Zhu family has now become a crazy woman that everyone avoids. Su Han, are you really that Su Han? Bai King widened her eyes with a look of disbelief on her face. Yeah, I smiled and nodded. Why are you scared? No, no, Bai King waved her hands quickly. I'm just a little surprised that you are so amazing. She looked at me, her eyes flashing with admiration. But even if you are just an ordinary person, I like you. She suddenly added, her cheeks slightly flushed. My heart warmed and I hugged her in my arms. A few days later, I took Bai King to meet King Fengyan. Old Qin, this is my girlfriend Bai King, I introduced with a smile. Hello, Mr. Huan I King greeted nervously. King Feng Yang looked Bai King up and down, smiled and nodded. Not bad. Suhan, you are really a hidden talent. He patted my shoulder. You are courageous and capable. King is not bad either. She has good taste. This kid knows how to talk. He prays to people at once and got me a meal for free. Bai King likes flowers, so I didn't open a flower shop for her. Instead, I bought a whole flower field for her. Grow whatever you like. She was so happy that she dragged me to her sea of flowers all day long. Moreover, she didn't stop making progress, but opened a small flower shop through her own efforts to make some money. She even gave flowers to some girls with similar interests for free. I sat on the exclusive sofa in the flower shop, watching Bai King's busy but happy figure, and suddenly felt that this is what love is.